What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog, continuing our standard week with Esper today. Esper Party. So in this one, we got 3 copies of Kitesail Cleric, 1 mana, 1/1 flying. Kick it for 4 total mana, and tap down 2 target creatures. 2 copies here of Concerted Defense, instant speed for 1 mana, counter target non-creature spell unless the control pays 1, plus additional 1 for each creature in your party. So this could be a pretty powerful counter spell for just a single mana. Obviously, we're all in on the party mechanic here, so yeah. Way to counter planeswalkers and sweepers, things like that, or any target removal, really. 2 copies here of Cleric of Chill Depths. 2 mana, 1/3. Merfolk Cleric. Whenever it blocks a creature, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. 2 copies here of Nimble Trapfinder, 2 mana, 2/1 human rogue. Can't be blocked if you had another party member enter the battlefield under your control. And once you have a full party, all creatures you control get to draw cards whenever they deal combat damage to a player. 3 copies here of Acquisitions Expert, 2 mana, 1/2 human rogue. Enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals a number of cards from their hand equal to the number of creatures in your party, so it'll be anywhere from 1 to 4. You get to choose one of those cards, and that player discards that card. 2 copies here of Heartless Act, just solid removal here. 3 copies here of Nullpriest of Oblivion, just fantastic cleric, 3 mana, 2/1 menace, lifelink, kick it to get a creature back straight to the battlefield from your graveyard. 2 copies here of Skyclave Apparition, lets us exile any non-land, non-token permanent with mana cost 4 or less. Obviously not a member of our party as a core spirit, but just a 3 mana 2/2 that gets rid of something on our opponent's side is pretty sweet. 3 copies here of Barrin, Tolarian Archmage. Being able to bounce any creature or planeswalker back to its opponent's hand, or its owner's hand, I should say, because we can also target our own. And if it was our own, then we get to draw a card on our end step. 3 copies here of Brazen Borrower. Obviously, Petty Theft and the 3/1 Flying, Fairy Rogue. Queen of Ice, another adventure spell here. Pretty underrated card. In some regards, not fantastic, obviously, but in terms of the party mechanic, it's a wizard. You can tap something down for 2 mana. It doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. And you can play it as a 3 mana 2/3. Whenever she deals combat damage to a creature, that tap that creature and doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. 2 copies here of Linvala, Shield of Seagate. 3 mana 3/3 flyer, already pretty solid right there. If we have a full party, we get to choose a non-land permanent and opponent controls, and until your next turn, it can't attack, block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. We can sack Linvala to give our creatures Hexproof or Indestructible until end of turn. 2 copies here of Legion Angel, Angel Warrior, 4 mana 4/3 flyer, already pretty solid right there. When Legion Angel enters the battlefield, we get to reveal another card named Legion Angel from outside the game, aka our sideboard, and put it into our hand. 1 copy here of Mangara, the Diplomat, 4 mana 2/4 cleric, lifelink. Whenever your opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, you get to draw a card. Whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. 3 copies here of Squad Commander, 4 mana 3/3 core warrior. Enters the battlefield, make a 1/1 equals the number of creatures in your party, so anywhere from 1 to 4. Beginning of combat, if you have a full party of creatures you control, get +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. 1 copy here of Tazri, Beacon of Unity, 5 mana 4/6 human warrior. However, costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. So if we can just play here for 2/3/4 mana, and get a nice 4/6 down. See the activated ability here is a little bit expensive. Look at the top 4 cards. 6 cards. And reveal up to 2 Cleric, Rogue, Wizard, Warrior, and or Ally cards from among them. Put it into your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So we're in 3 colors here. So we got the blue, we got the black. Obviously, we'll have to play 2 because we don't have red, and we'll play 2 because we don't have green. If you want to be really cute, you could play more of the Pathway lands, but I think that makes things a little bit too awkward. Definitely don't think that's worth it. Tazri may not even be worth it, but for the Esper version of Party, you want to play it very much like kind of a tempo-y style list. So we got the Brazen Borrower, we got the Barrin, we got the Queen of Ice, Skyclave Apparition, just pretty solid removal. Even the Cleric of Chill Depths can tap things down, and the Kitesail Cleric does that as well. So just kind of trying to play it as a sort of a tempo-y style, or we can play, kind of flood the board with our our party members, and then just kind of tap down our opponent's creatures, and maybe, you know, get through some card advantage with our Trapfinder. Mangara can give us card advantage if our opponent's kind of ahead of us a little bit. And then Squad Commander, once we have our full party assembled, is just going to help us kind of take over the game, especially if once we're tapping everything down. And if we are digging for more ways to punch through, Tazri can kind of help us fill that gap as well. And since we are a little bit more mid-rangey here on our Esper list, we got one copy of Emeria's Call. 7 mana sorcery, make two 4/4 angels, and non-angel creatures you control get indestructible until your next turn. Obviously, the Legion Angel is an angel, and where is she? Nimvala, of course, is an angel, but everything else will be protected from your Emeria's Call to have indestructible. Rest of the mana base, we've got 2 plains, 3 island, 1 swamp, 3 Temple Enlightenment, 4 Brightclimb Pathway, 3 Temple of Silence, 4 Clearwater Pathway, 3 Temple of Deceit. Sideboard, of course, we have our other 2 Legion Angels that we're going to get off the main deck. 2 copies of Neutralize, just a nice hard counter spell. 2 copies of Elspeth's Nightmare. It's good against rogues or pretty much anytime you have to deal with your opponent's graveyard. As we first phase, we get to destroy a creature an opponent controls power 2 or less. Second phase, opponent reveals their hand. You get to choose a non-creature, non-land card, make them discard. And then third phase is we get to exile target opponent's graveyard. One more copy here of Linvala to kind of protect from board sweepers, things like that, including our own, running 2 Shatter the Skies to you know, protect against any sort of scoop swarm or other sort of go wide, flood the board type strategies. Also have 2 copies of Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, as some sort of anti-mill tech, because we can escape her just for 4 cards and 6 mana. We can you know, add more creatures with the -2, making 2 1/1 human soldier tokens if we're trying to get a wide board state going on. And if we already have our some party creatures out, we can just -1 to give our creatures +2/+1, and hopefully kind of put a serious clock down on our opponent. 2 copies of E2 Extinction for some additional single target removal, exile removal at that. And then for some additional removal heavy and anti-mill tech, we got 2 copies of Thwart the Grave, 6 mana sorcery, however it's 1 less free to cast for each creature in our party. And we get to return a 1 creature card of any kind, as well as a cleric, rogue, warrior, or wizard. So basically we get 2 creatures back for anywhere from 2 to 6 mana. So not a bad rate here. So yeah, let's jump into some. Up against G. Deggy? Something? I don't know. Two lands. We can scry, try to find a 3rd land. $90-something cards, red. Tazri. Now we want to see this stage of the game. Just want lands here, please. Okay, Weaselback, Red Cat. Still just showing us mono red so far. We'll get our black source down. Go and drop Nullpriest. That probably just dies to a shock or something. Nope. Fire Prophecy. Okay, Rakdos. Choose not to draw a new card. Well, Nullpriest number 2, why not? Do need some more lands here, deck. Relic Robber. Oh, block that. Must have a way to deal with our Nullpriest here. Blazing Volley. How do people just have like the stupidest cards like that? How do people have like the stupidest cards? A little nightmare here. Alright, once again a 2-lander. Once again no lands. Okay. There's a land. We'll keep running out our Nullpriest here. See what it dies to. Nothing. Okay. Attack for 2. Nullpriest number 2 and Temple. More options next turn. Oh, we have double blue, so we'll say yes to that. Probably Legion Angel here, though. So we have double white, so we'll play the Brightclimb Pathway on black. So we'll have double blue, double white, double black. Just gotta love it when your opponent's running some above standard size deck with very niche cards and they just draw them perfectly against you. It's like, come on. And that's why we say the shuffler has issues. There's no way you can play this many cards and just draw perfectly good answers every time. Okay. We could Linvala. I think I'm just going to bounce the Stormfist Crusader since it's a little more mana intensive for them to cast. An expert here as well. They look at 3 cards. 3 out of their 5. Choose 1. We got Menace they can't block, and we got the Flyer they can't block. You can have lands. Go to Stormfist Crusader. We don't hate drawing cards, but we don't necessarily want them to draw. Oh, bosh. Okay. Yeah, if I was just dropping Mangara, swinging for 4. I mean, Obosh definitely gives them a bunch of oomph here, but I mean, Crusader is a 2-drop. This is a 2-drop, so I'm not really sure what their strategy is. So Obosh, Torbran, and just a bunch of nonsense. Cool. So they choose not to. See, how much is that? A lot. Just play Legion Angel on number 2. Put the clock on him. See if we can find some interaction. Yeah, we'll just attack 4. So you gotta gain life or deal with both of our angels here. We'll absolutely make some chump blocks here. Okay, so opponent's deck is just super greedy, super cute. Prevent all the damage. Okay, now you can see. Well, they got some pretty nasty stuff. Let's just focus more on creature removal. Seems fine. Let's see if they resolve a double vision, but I mean, 90 cards, you can't plan for anything. I mean, neither can they, so I don't know. But I guess that's the fun for them, just the pure randomness of it all. Just don't know what part of your deck you're going to draw into. Obviously, everything synergizes with Torbran. Take lands of all kinds here. It's missing double blue for Barrin, but we got the Petty Theft. We got Elspeth's Nightmare. Linvala. Hopefully they play something we can bounce here, and then we can drop. Let's just drop Linvala. Opponent does nothing. Don't really like that. I don't like that. Well, let's force him to do something here. Just run Linvala out there. And now we need help with lands, please. Fateful End. That's some premier removal right there. Describe, leave it on top. So I found land number 4. Torbrand, perfect. Keep one of their best threats off the board. We're going to look at their hand next turn, get some removal. Terror of the Peaks. Heartless Act was a timely draw, otherwise we were just going to have to petty theft. We're stuck on lands here. At least our opponent isn't doing anything. Saving the shock for one of our creatures. Play the Expert, make him discard a land. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They already have 6 lands. I don't think that really matters. They want to fire off the shock at our face, just play it. Emeria's Call. Alright. We'll do something with that. It's going to cost us 3 life, which isn't ideal against this type of deck, but you know, they're sitting on a shock plus an unknown, so we'll put a 4/3 out there, make them answer that. And we're looking for more lands here. Oread of Mountain's Blaze. And discard a Blitz. Find a Weaselback, red guy. Okay, opponent's starting to find some answers here. They do have mana open to shock. So we're finding some lands. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad answer either. Let's go and play Angel number 2. We're going to go ahead and crash in. See, this is 2 to pump for 2. So yeah, we'll trade off with the Weaselback here. I'm fine with that. I have a handful of action here. So I can pump it up twice. Oh yeah, doing it before combat, like a pro. You only have 1 toughness. I'm blocking. We are definitely blocking, not taking 5 from you. There's our Elspeth's Nightmare. Go and fire this off, get rid of one of these creatures. Don't want them digging through their library. Let's also bounce this one too. Fine with doing that. We have E2 Extinctions here. If they do find an Obosh or another Torbrand or Terror of the Peaks, any big threats, we'll happily fire off the E2 Extinctions then. But for now, just kind of keep them, just kind of slow down their tempo a little bit. Not that these 1/3s are doing much. Okay, they found another burn spell. Blitz. Okay, if they want to fire off those removal spells for a single creature, no problem. Alright, now we're cooking with fire. Yeah, Expert's not really doing a whole lot, but they're just going to fire off a shock regardless, so this way we still always get a body on board. Could wait and try to hold, see if they're holding something in hand, but attack with your robber. Let's see, what do we have? We're missing. So we need a wizard and we need a cleric. I was just attacking for 4 in the air. We'll play Barrin. And we'll play the Kitesail. This way we have Squad Commander at full strength next turn. Unless they find a removal spell off the top. If they do swing out here, we will just take it. I think we're okay with taking a 1/1 token that's going to ping us down and discarding another Blitz because we exiled the graveyard. Not sure if that was intentional. Just run out the Squad Commander. And what's Acquisitions Expert? They have something they can't cast in their hand, it looks like. It's a removal spell. We get our Squad Commander trigger. The thing's indestructible. We can just have lethal here. Yep. Alright. Take that, Rakdos, mono red, whatever you are. Alright, up against Karmic Mishap. It's a little awkward with double tap lands, but we do have lots of playables here. Barrin without double blue, we'll bottom that. Alright, how goes our Kitesail Cleric to a shock? Or Spikefield Hazard. It is a land. We'll have all the fixing here. 2 mountains, say go. Alright, well they're going to slow play. We'll go ahead and keep the expert then, see what they got. See what they got cooking. Go and keep our game plan up, adding to the board here. Nullpriest. So is it mill deck? That sounds super fun. A Brazen Borrower. Okay, so you have creatures, but you also have mill. So adventure creatures are your like backup, alternate win condition. Teferi's Tutelage, come on down. Oh, they're thinking about it. You're at 16. We're attacking for 4, but they choose to Shadow Skull Smash. Cool. Legion Angel. Swing 1. Found double blue. Okay. Bounce this. Play Brazen Borrower end step on their end step. What are you double visioning with your Teferi's Tutelage? Cool. Like how they can't seem to make up mind what they want to do. Do they want a tutelage? Do they want a double vision? Like what's your deck trying to do there? Alright, we're swinging 8. 3 mana open. Oh, you got a counter spell? No. What are you holding up then? Storm's Wrath could be a possibility. Just petty thefting my Legion Angel. So hitting for 4. Yeah, just run it back out. Grab the other one. So I don't have lethal yet. They have the Brazen Borrower, which they can play, and then block the Legion Angel. I have a Vantress Gargoyle. Well, we're going to tap that down. Try to. And if they just want to flash in their Borrower, we are Heartless Act in response. Destroy, not remove counters. I think I'm on a misclick there. This is the part where you concede. Oh boy. So you're trying to be cute with double vision. Just to copy your spells like this. Seems pretty greedy. Alright, so mill, probably want Elspeth. Neutralize and thwart. Mangara is not terrible. Tazri seems a little slow. Cleric of Chill Depths, probably not doing a whole lot. Apparition is nice. Three more things. Barrin is not as good here. Let's leave one in, I guess. And I guess a squad commander. It's gonna be hard to get much traction going against them. So they have Vantress Gargoyle, Brazen Borrower, and probably Bone Crusher Giant just for value, I would assume. Alright, we'll temple into blue pathway, into expert, hope for more lands. Can at least hit their hand. Linvala is not bad, but we just want more lands. Rune Crab super obnoxious. I think with them having so few cards in hand, I think it's worth just getting rid of the crab. But now slow their mill plan down. I have another one. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? We didn't see any in game one, and now they have multiples. And we're stuck on land, so that gives them a huge advantage. We get a land out of their hands, so that could potentially cost them, since they are obviously trying to get to some of the later stages of the game, where they need more expensive spells, double vision, things like that. They discard another land. So they're pretty content with what they got in hand, apparently. 39, so they definitely have a pretty reasonable clock on us. Just leave open Concerted Defense. Look at their hand again. Get rid of the last card. Fabled Passage. What a perfect draw. Millen is pretty good for not really doing a whole lot. I can just kind of sit back there with this board state. Of course, we draw our Elspeth instead of milling it. We're going to Linvala here. We have a Castle Vantress activation. It's going to give him quite a bit of advantage as well. Block one, take one. Finally down to 19. We're stuck on lands. They've already milled just about half of our library already, so. Scry 2. So they're going to fix their draws pretty handily here. Everything's lined up quite nicely for our opponent in this game. Got rid of the first Rune Crab, but of course they got the second one, then they got the tutelage. We were a little bit slow adding to our creatures. Finally got some board state going. Vantress Gargoyle, so they can, let's see, Can't block unless you have 4 or more cards in hand. But they can attack us. They can definitely attack us. Alright, hitting for 4. Trapfinder plus Cleric. I think we just want to flood the board here. It's going to be our best bet. There's Elspeth. Stuck on 3 lands though. Hey, hit me for 5, go for it. You don't want to block? We're not blocking. 5 mana open. They're holding something up. Temple of Deceit. Need more white lands here. I mean, whatever we have, they're just going to mill it anyway, so yeah, let's mill that. Queen of Ice can tap down their Vantress Gargoyle. Also gives us a wizard. We are missing... No, Linvala is a wizard, so we got wizard, rogue, cleric. We don't have warrior. Do not have warrior. Oh, tap down their gargoyles, so they're salt down. Trapfinder. And deny. We do have a concerted defense here open. Yeah, just need some white mana here. $21 cards. Yeah, that was pretty timely concerted defense. They would have pretty much won the game at that point with all the mill plus refilling to whatever they needed. Getting some lands, but not the ones we needed. So it's gonna be pretty close. We have a chance here. So they're taking 6 down to 3. We're at 15. But more importantly, we have 20 cards in library. They have to have a pretty fantastic top deck here. 18 cards. Whew. Whew. Concerted defense versus Into the Story. Man, that was clutch. Wow. I mean, we were stuck on lands, but we still got there, so definitely feels good about that. Definitely feel good about that. Devourer of Memory. You should already have a playset of those. Yeah, Esper Party. Definitely feel like one of the better party decks that I've put together so far. Trying to play it as a very tempo-y style. It's a little bit tricky because you'd have double white, double blue, and things like that. But overall, the mana base has felt pretty reasonable overall. We're running all the temples here to kind of help us give us the fixing plus the scry, and then we do have the pathways, which help quite a bit as well. So no triomes, but the mana base still works, I think, with this setup here. It's felt reasonably consistent, considering that we're trying to do a little bit greedy sometimes with, you know, double blue on turn 3 and double white potentially on turn 3 even. But yeah, definitely has felt pretty good. The tempo style, having the main deck concerted defense has been pretty sweet as well. And yeah, the Brazen Borrower, Queen of Ice, Barrin package just kind of a balance and temp out your opponent. A couple Heartless Acts for some additional actual removal. And then, you know, we got the Shatter the Skies and Extinction for exile removal in the sideboard. Call it Elspeth's Nightmare, which is, I think it's a pretty good spot in the meta overall. Then Elspeth, Thwart the Grave. Seems like we already have a pretty good main deck package. So having these two to kind of supplement versus Mill feels pretty reasonable in a lot of situations as well. Mangara is a cleric. Doesn't seem like it looks like it should be good on paper, but it's obviously very matchup dependent. So I think just one copy feels pretty reasonable, easy to sideboard. Does that depend on the matchup? But there are plenty of decks that definitely want to go wide where you can draw some cards off it, and a 2/4 lifelinking creature is not the worst thing, especially when it's synergizing with what we're trying to do already as far as being a cleric. Tazri is a little bit greedy here. If you want to make this a little more competitive, maybe just cut Tazri for like another squad commander or something. But since we are doing this sort of tempo-y style, it puts us kind of more the mid-range territory a lot of the time, so having something like a Tazri can be pretty sweet. Because you don't necessarily have the raw power to punch through. Legion Angel definitely gives us some of that with the 4 power in the air. But otherwise, there's definitely situations where you get into a little bit of maybe a board stall situation where you kind of tempo your opponent out here and there, but maybe it's not quite enough, especially if it's like game 1 against like go wide decks. You can kind of get into these board stall situations. At least Tazri kind of gives you some card advantage, as does Mangara in those situations as well. And then of course Linvala has come in pretty clutch with even against creature-based matchups where you can just kind of swing all in, or your opponent swings all in at you, and you just give all your creatures indestructible and then potentially kill them on the crackback. So definitely pretty pleased with Linvala. It's tempting to run more, but she is legendary, so I feel like 2's probably good enough. But we are running 3 Barrins as well, so maybe. Yeah, that's the list here. Esper party. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, until next time, make sure you jank with a